Good morning, YouTube. Reseller Mom here. Welcome to today's video. It is currently the 4th of January, and I thought I would go through some of the year-end reports that you might want to pull. Now, I am in no way a tax guru or certified in anything tax related, but I have had to pull reports for the last few years, and these are kind of the top ones that I see being pulled and needed for year-end tax stuff. Now, I have a CPA. If you want to know more about her, her link is down in the description box. She runs all of my books and all of my taxes. I also use QuickBooks to take care of all of my accounting needs. So some of these reports you may need, you may not need, but we'll go through them, and you know, it doesn't take very long to pull them, and then if you do need them, you have them. So thank you for joining me today. If this video helps you out at all, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. The first report that I'm going to show you is a PDF that's going to show you and this is all for Amazon FBA. I'm not going into any other platform right now, but it is a PDF that will show you all of your net sales credits and refunds. This is a report that I had never pulled until this year, and I saw somebody, I believe it was on Hustle Buddies, post the instructions for it, and I thought that was a good report to pull and interesting, and I would share it with you guys. So I do strongly suggest joining that group. I love the information shared with everybody there. They've just got a lot of good information, got a lot of good people there. So this is in essence, if you want to take a screenshot and write everything down on here, but we're going to walk through on the screenshots, basically these instructions right here. So at any moment, feel free to go back and pause this video as we're walking through the steps so that you can follow along and do those reports. So from Amazon FBA, from Seller Central, you're going to go to Reports, you're going to go to Payment Dashboard, and you're going to go to Date Range Reports. So once you click on Date Range Reports, you're going to see this screen right here, and you're going to click Generate Report. From Generate Report, these are the functions you want. You want to change it, I believe it was default transaction. You're going to change it to summary. You want all your accounts, or maybe you don't. These are the settings that I used. All my accounts, and then custom report range, basically from the 1st of 2021 to the last day of 2021, and then generate. It's going to show in progress, and my report took, I would say, a good 15 to 20 minutes before I could download it. So, I just let it run, and then came back a little while later and went ahead and found it. So it showed up as a download button. I requested it on the 2nd. You can do any of these reports. Pretty much you want to wait, all of these, you want to wait until after the 31st. So I usually wait till the 2nd to maybe the first week of January to pull these reports, so that the whole system has processed everything for last year and you get a good true report. Okay, so when you click download, this is what it's going to look like. And that's why I wanted to share it with you, because I thought this was a pretty good little report. Now, I've blanked out kind of all of my information for privacy reasons, but you have your display name, your legal name up here, and then it's got all of your income and all of your expenses associated in Amazon. Now, of course, anything outside of Amazon, it's not going to capture, so this is just for Amazon stuff. You can see all of your FBA sales, all of the shipping credits, all the A to Z claims, all the safety claims. I mean, it's got a lot of interesting, good little figures that you may need to come back and look at. And you may want this just for your own business purposes, year in, year out, to kind of track and see your growth and whatnot. So I thought it was really good. You've got all your cost of advertising, you've got liquidation fees, shipping label purchases. It's got a lot of good little information just down into one little PDF that didn't take, it took less than a few minutes to pull the report, then 15-20 minutes for the system to pull the report, and then I just saved this. I save all of these types of files in a tax file for 2021, and if I need to reference this, I have it at my fingertips. The next report we're going to pull is one that will show you all of your inventory you had on hand on the last day of the year. It won't tell you the value of said income, but it tells you what you have and where it's at. This type of report I have had to pull a few times when, let's see here, I pulled one when there was the tornado that happened, there was a fire down in California that happened, and I kind of wanted to see where my inventory was at, and also if I'm looking at new state for Nexus back when sales tax was kind of a thing. These were a report that you could see where your inventory was to see how much you were, how present you were in one of the states. So at the end of the year, I like to grab this and capture it because it's one of those records that sometimes the IRS needs to show what you have in terms of inventory at the end of the year. So for this one, you're going to go again to Amazon Seller Central, Reports, and Amazon Fulfilled Reports. You're going to have to click the Show More button under Inventory over on the left-hand side, and you're going to pull the Daily Inventory History. Instead of viewing online, you're going to go to Download, and you're going to request the exact date, and I just pick the last day of the year. Again, it's going to be processing for a little while. This report doesn't take, I want to say this one took less than 15 minutes. It was a little bit quicker than the other report to pull, but once you have it, you can go ahead and download it, and then this is what it's going to look like. So it's going to have your date stamp, the FNSKU, which is very difficult to get out this morning, the SKU, your product name, quantity, the fulfillment center, the detailed, basically if it's sellable or not sellable, and country, which they should all be in the US, but I guess transfers, the XFR is a transfer, so if it's in transfer status. So anyhow, if you ever want to have an inventory snapshot, that is how you pull that report. And I like to have this on hand because that's one of the things that goes into your taxes at the end of the year is the value of your inventory from the previous year, if you do the taxes the way that I do taxes. The last report that I pull is the value of my inventory, and I get that through Inventory Lab because that's where I keep track of all of my cost of goods and inventory sales based with Amazon and both FBA and FBM. If you were, say, a private label business and you only had, we'll say, like 10 different SKUs, and you know exactly how much each of those SKUs cost, you could easily calculate the value of your inventory using this report in your receipts or invoices. But I do a lot of different inventory from a lot of different stores. I'm more wide, a lot of retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, and wholesale. So I need to capture the value of my inventory at the end of the year. Before, my current CPA, the two CPAs that I worked with beforehand would always need to know that value, and Inventory Lab gives a great snapshot of it. So for this report, you're going to go to your Inventory Lab dashboard, you're going to go to Reports, All Inventory Valuation, and you're going to run it for the last day of the year. You can input that last day right up here and then click View. And you can see here that I have $36,000 worth of inventory in Amazon on that day, $36,866.44. It was pulled on December 31st at 10:36 p.m. and that's pretty darn accurate. I mean, you could argue that you've got an hour and a half or something left, but it's pretty accurate. I go ahead and I export it to a CSV file. I believe your options are either CSV or a text, and if you do a text, you can copy and paste that into a Google spreadsheet or whatever spreadsheet software you want to use. I like Excel, so I just go ahead and pop it into Excel, and boom, I've got my report on hand on every single SKU and the value of it for my business. And that's it. Those are the 3 reports that I now have in my tax file. Pretty easy. It took me less, well, with filming the video, even with getting the screenshots and everything, less than a half an hour to get all these reports pulled, and then I have them for my end of the year taxes that I will be asked for. My new CPA, she usually pulls all the reports now for me, so I don't really need to even do anything, which is great. If you're, again, interested in her link is down below. But if you are working with a different CPA or doing your own books and whatnot, I would suggest pulling those 3 reports and having them ready to go for tax time. Again, I'm not a tax expert or anything, but it's pretty similar reports that you're going to need to pull, and that's how you do it. All right, guys, take care and have an amazing